So are you one of those golfers who suffers from the dreaded over-the-top downswing? Many golfers do struggle with this fault. We're going to show you exactly why that might be the case in this video and a couple of fixes for it. So welcome back to the Forest of Arden, where we're talking about that dreaded move that so many golfers suffer with. It's the over the top. We're going to give you two things in this video which can help you take that out of your game if you feel that you do fall into that category. So just before we get started, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, I would love you to be part of my channel. There is a subscription link in the description box below. There's also a clickable link at the end of the video. So if you'd rather wait for that one, it's going to appear just over there. So let's talk about the over-the-top move. What is it? Why does it cause so many golfers some problems? And then a couple of fixes for it. Well, an over-the-top move basically means that we've got this kind of shape around our body where we'd like the golf club to move on. That's going to depend on the golf club you've got. It's going to depend on how tall or short you are. But effectively, an over-the-top move is when the club head moves far too much out towards the ball in the downswing. The result is very often a club which travels to the left of target for a right-handed golfer, and we generally get fade shots, we get slice shots. But it generally doesn't end well. We generally don't be able to hit the ball as far as we'd like, we generally don't strike it as well, and we can't control the curve. Now, in this video, we're going to talk very much about one thing that tends to be in the backswing which can often cause the over the top, and then a movement in the downswing which again can cause the over the top. If you think about where the golf club is generally swinging as it hits the ball, it's generally swinging to the left of the target, so it's kind of over in this area here. Now, that's often useful to the golfer who swings over the top. The reason it's useful is because very often these golfers have the club face extremely open in the backswing. Now, a club which is extremely open is very often going to make the ball curve to the right. So if we know the ball's going to curve to the right, it would make sense that we need to swing the golf club to the left of the target. So in many cases, the golfer swinging over the top, that's a good thing. That needs to be present, because if they didn't swing over the top, they'd get far worse results. So job number one here is we have to get the club face under control. To get the club face under control, it's really all about controlling how your hands and your wrists work in the backswing. When I get to the top of my backswing, my right wrist, my trail wrist, needs to be as bent as I can get it. You can see how I'm pulling the knuckles down towards the ground or down towards my forearm. I need to put as much bend in that trail wrist as I can. When I put that bend in that trail wrist, the lead wrist will be flat, if not slightly arched. If we get the opposite happening, if I get to the top and I have my right wrist, you can see, not bent, my left wrist will be the one that's bent, and the club face gets extremely open. This position, these wrist angles that we see, opening that club face is so common. It's so common, it's unbelievable. So those golfers who have that open face have to swing over the top to get the ball to go anywhere near the target. So if you're looking to fix the over the top, the first thing you have to do is look at the cause, look at the root cause of why that's happening in your golf swing. The problem is, if you've got an open face and over the top, if you fix that open face and you get it neutral, it doesn't suddenly mean your downswing is going to be perfect. You're probably still going to have that over the top move because it's programmed in there. So we have to kind of do two things in this video. We have to control the club face, and then we have to give you some downswing ideas on fixing the over the top. So we've got the club face under control. That's now going to be much better. So what controls the angle of the club shaft in the downswing? Well, if I put the club into this position here and I move the golf club through this position and this position, that's really my forearms and my elbows that are doing this. That's how I change the angle of the club shaft. So those golfers who do come over the top will generally have the club shaft far too steep. It's the rotations of the arms which is going to control the angle that the golf club is on. So here's a little exercise I want you to do, and this is purely an exercise. You are going to take your normal setup, you're going to split your grip so that your trail hand is sort of a couple of fingers on the grip and a couple of fingers on the club shaft. And I want you to very much feel as if the trail hand, so that's your back hand, is going to be this side of your lead hand in the backswing and the opposite side of your lead hand in the downswing. It will make a bit more sense as I show you. So as I make my backswing, notice how my lead hand is more in front of me than my trail hand. But as I transition to the downswing, my trail hand is now much more behind my lead hand. This is really my forearm rotation, which is creating this difference in the shaft angle. If you're an over-the-foot golfer, you will almost have the opposite relationship. You'll have your trail hand getting too much behind you, and then as you start down, it'll do this. When it does this, it's very often because of this trail elbow, the trail forearm, those kind of movements. So this is a great little exercise to feel what it would be like to take an over-the-top move and move it into a more desirable position. So some little rehearsals, feeling what that's like, is going to be great for you. Notice how, when I do my downswing in this little exercise, notice the rotation in my legs and my upper body. Notice I'm still rotating towards the target. Lots of golfers, when they have this over-the-top move, believe that it's because their body's opening up too quick from the top. They're coming too much over with their body. I very rarely see that. I can actually have my body opening up very quickly from the top of my golf swing, and actually I would like to have that present. That's what I would like to do. But it's more to do with how we change the arms and how that can really affect the golf club. So when I have my normal grip on, it's a little bit more difficult because my hands are closer, but I can still get that feeling of, and transition, the right hand being behind the left hand. Feels like I'm pointing the club shaft behind me. That, coupled with the club face which is under control, is going to rid you're over the top. It takes a bit of practice because there's two things we have to change generally. We have to change club face, we have to change shaft angle. Not easy to do. So let's see if I can go ahead and put those things into practice. Let's hit a driver towards this par 4 in the distance. Looking to a little right to left shot here, which would give me some good feedback that I wasn't over the top. And that's absolutely perfect. I might even make the green. I'm on a bit of a forward tee here, but just on the front edge, I think, just on the front edge. So if you are struggling with an over-the-top move, there are lots of reasons why that could be happening, but I think what I've done in this video is address the two most common ones, club face and how the forearms work in the downswing. Address those two things and you can hit drives just like that one and get rid of those fades and those slices that may well be plaguing your game. Thanks for watching. Usual stuff as always is below, comments box, like button and subscription link down there as well, and the clickable button over here. Would love you to be part of my channel. Together we can help you play the best golf of your life this year. Thanks for watching.